Hey, Hannah, you not feeling good? Do you not want to do the Princess Bride themed episode? Or are you hungover?
A little bit of both, to be honest.
Ah, come on, it'll be great. I've brought the script, I'll read it to you. Adam Hills Tonight, episode 7, 2013. We open on Hannah, snuggled beneath a doona, feeling sick and sorry for herself.
Doesn't sound too bad. I might try and stay awake for it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Your vote of confidence is overwhelming. We dissolve into the opening titles, as per usual, but with a slight twist.
Hello. My name is Adam Hills. You have tuned into the Princess Bride themed episode of Adam Hills Tonight. Prepare to laugh. Tonight I'll be... Sorry. Tonight I'll be joined by comedian Frank Woodley, musical star Lucy Durack, and star of the Dr. Blake Mysteries, actor Craig NcLachlan, plus musical comedy from Geraldine Quinn, and a one-on-one interview with English chat show king Jonathan Ross. Now, if you're wondering why we decided to do a Princess Bride show, well, to be honest, this week, so was most of the ABC. Look, if you look in the papers and watch the news at the moment, it seems that the world needs a little more joy, and there is no more joyous film than The Princess Bride. For those of you who don't know the movie, it's a story about a princess, a pirate, friends that become enemies, enemies that become friends, and rodents of unusual size, which is pretty much the state of Australian politics right now. And clearly I'm not alone in my love of The Princess Bride, because people here tonight have dressed up. Excellent work to the seven of you that have dressed up. I've had so many messages this week from people that love the movie too, including 15-year-old Sophie, who said her dad proposed to her mum after seeing The Princess Bride. A lady called Karen, whose daughter was married with the Princess Bride theme a few months ago. Jodie sent me a picture of this mug that says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die." What's interesting about that is that a guy wearing a T-shirt with the same design on it was recently asked to cover it up on a Qantas flight this year because it was making other passengers nervous. And you know, a part of me recognises the implications of wearing a threatening T-shirt in a post-9/11 world, but I can't help but feel that if you don't recognise one of the most iconic quotes in movie history, you deserve to sit scared on an aeroplane. And besides, unless you actually killed that guy's father, you've got nothing to worry about. All right, people, let's get on with this show and welcome the woman who has not only heard of Plato, Aristotle and Socrates, she thinks they're all morons. In the role of Vizzini, would you please welcome Hannah Gadsby?
I can see myself on the monitor and I don't know how to behave. It's like, I feel like I need to be sleazy.
Really?
Yeah. Not to you.
You know what you look like? You look like Donald Trump if he didn't have a wig on.
I look a little bit like Dad.
And usually I look like my mum. Including that. What have you had a go at this week?
This week I had a go at wine tasting. Mm-hmm. Like, proper, like, savoury shit. Because usually I'm just like, oh, yeah, I tasted that more. Goon, a fortune. You know. And so I had a proper go. Went to a very nice winery out at Red Hill and got taught the finer points of wine tasting. drink. Hello, Tony.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. I bought you a present. You like wine? You like this? It's Fruity Lexia. That makes you sexier. Tony's going to treat me to a complimentary vertical tasting of wines from his winery. Frankly, he had me at complimentary.
So before you drink the wine, you need to study it. You need to look at it. You need to smell it. You need to get to know it.
The first step is to investigate your wine till it's feeling exposed and vulnerable. Then you swirl your wine, swirl it for hours and hours and hours on end. Swirl it till your wrist gives out.
No. You need to slow. Gentle.
Then you stick your nose into the glass, you sniff your wine so hard you're basically snorting it.
Think about what you're smelling. What does it smell like?
Wine.
Let's see.
It's wet now. Then you get to drink the wine. Sort of.
Small. Only a little. Not all of it.
Next, in a tragic act of wastage, you spit out your wine. And then I got drunk, like a lady woman thing.
There's a little more alcohol in red wine.
For me, all good wine must lead to a dance floor. And Tony's did just that. Let's just hope my hangover wears off before the in-studio challenge. Winter is coming!
Now, it seems to me, Hannah, you didn't really grasp the subtleties of wine tasting, so I've prepared something a little bit more blunt for your palate. Firstly, we're going to do a blindfold test. Can you put that blindfold on, please?
I'm bald.
All right, and to bring in the props, would you please welcome a man who, when I found him, was friendless, brainless, helpless and hopeless as Fezzik the Giant. It's Harley Breen! Thank you, Harley.
You smell large.
Well done, Harley. That was the right way to go.
Probably the only thing I'll do all show.
So, Hannah, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pour a few things into goblets here, and your fine tasting has to try and work out what they are. Firstly, for the people watching at home... dip a little bit of that in there for you. There you go. Hannah, if you'd like to hold one hand out, please. There you go. There's your goblet. Just, if you could just identify that particular drop.
I can't smell shit with this.
Yes, can you identify that?
Can I spew it?
Oh, yeah, sorry, there's a bucket right in front of you now. There it is. It's right in front.
This has got some body. It's got some body. It'd go well with meat, I think. I've just put cold gravy in my mouth.
That's exactly what you said. I got it. Here's your second thing to try.
I'm excited.
I can tell. This one's a little bit more tangy, I think you'll find. There you go. Yep, here it is. There it is.
That's burning! Fresh and minty, that one. Probably an after-dinner wine. Goes well with plaque. I'm calling that mouthwash.
Yes, it is mouthwash.
Thank you.
Right. Now, for your last challenge, would you please take off the blindfold? All right, Hannah, here's what I have done. In one of these goblets is red wine. In the other, red wine vinegar. Now, this is a battle of wits. It begins now, it ends when you decide which glass you're going to drink. And which I am going to drink.
Look, hot lady.
Where?
Oh, sorry, Mick.
That's your final decision?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, the burning.
I put it in both glasses.
Why did you do that?
Because that's what happens in the movie. Why don't we do the Silence of the Lambs episode? My first guest tonight has a deep and abiding interest in pain. He has fallen down onto and off stages all over the world, first as one half of Lano and Woodley, and now as a solo comedian. He's dressed tonight as the man who slashed my father through the heart. Please welcome Frank Woodley! So, Frank, what have you been up to?
Actually, I've just come back from a bit of a holiday, which was good. I went to sort of outback Australia and had about 3 weeks, which was lovely. There was a couple of... We went up north, actually, to Darwin as well, and I went on one of those crocodile tours where you see the crocodiles, you know.
Right.
And the guy who ran the tour did tell me two things that I want to share with yourself and Hannah and basically every single other person I meet from now on, because it could be quite useful. He said that the good news is, if you're chased by a crocodile, crocodiles can't climb trees. So you should climb a tree.
Neither can I, to be fair.
You can't either?
I can't climb.
You might do it. So if you ever go on, into crocodile territory, take a step ladder. But so that's the good news. Crocodiles can't climb trees.
Yep.
But the bad news is they can sit at the bottom of the tree, waiting for you to come down for up to 18 months. Which I thought was... Yeah, oh, we did. And we saw some crocodiles. We went on the tour, but the only ones we saw about 6 crocodiles basking on the edge of the river there, you know. And they do this thing where they sit there with their kind of their mouths open, but they're so obviously the top of the food chain because they have no fear whatsoever. Like we came up behind these crocodiles, they're facing away from us, and in this boat that's kind of going. I'm no umbilical brother, but it's making a lot of noise, you know. And I would have, they're just like this, no response. They could have been statues. Maybe they were statues, but I think they were the real thing. And
Maybe they were busking.
Maybe they were busking doing that. I should have chucked them some coins. Yeah, they didn't move at all. And I don't know about you, but I feel like if I was a wild creature in the wild and something came up behind me going... I reckon I would, at the very least, I reckon I would go... But nothing. They're unbelievable. The confidence. Impressive.
How can you go on a holiday and still come back with great stories? Like, you're supposed to go away on a holiday and just relax.
It's kind of weird, actually, being a comedian, that when embarrassing or very humiliating things happen to you, you use them. That's what you talk about. And I had a guy come up to me in the street one day and go, I know you're that fuckwit. It feels weird, but I'm going to prove him right now with this...
And just be careful of the language. It is the Princess Bride episode. Sure. What's going on with your hand?
What? Oh, well, I've got the one glove on because I got...
I've only just realised you've got 6 fingers. All my life I've been searching for the 6-fingered man. He killed my father.
Different 6-fingered man. There's a few of us around. Most of us tie 2 fingers together and go unnoticed. No, seriously, Adam, I don't think there's no need to.
I think you are the man that killed my father. Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh! That stings. Look, please, Adam, anything. I'll give you anything. Money, power, anything you want.
I won my father back, you son of a bitch. That was very good. That was a...
That was great.
That was a good death.
Oh, I love a good death. I studied death at NIDA for 3 years. Yeah,
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I just did the death bit at NIDA.
You need something.
Yeah. Do you want to just take it off?
Oh.
Good, actually. There we go.
Do you have any death acting tips?
Well, actually, there are a few common mistakes made by people doing death scenes. I think number one is too slow, just floating in the air, defying gravity. Number two is too fast. You know, sometimes people will go for they'll just be like, you know, that tends to be a little rapid. I find another too much reach and touch. Well, one reach and touch can be great. 2 reach and touch is acceptable, but sometimes people go like for 5 reach and touch. Do you know what I mean? Like it's in their death, they go, oh. You know, too many reach and touch. Yep. That's a problem. Another common one is too upright. I once saw a guy go, that's not good. The classic though would have to be too ostentatious. You know, when people go for, it's meant to be a dramatic moment. It's meant to be a dramatic moment, and they go, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank Frank Woodley?
Frank Woodley doesn't die at this time.
What?
I'm just saying Frank doesn't die. I'm telling you because you were starting to look nervous.
I'm not nervous. As if you'd actually kill Frank Woodley. OH&S would never let you.
All right, Adam introduces the second guest as follows. My second guest tonight is a girl of surpassing beauty and faithfulness.
She stunned Australian audiences as Glinda in the stage musical Wicked and is currently garnering rave reviews as the star of Legally Blonde. Appearing tonight in the role of Princess Buttercup, please welcome Lucy Durack. Welcome to the show.
Oh, I love that. You've got it all going.
You kind of have to. It's getting stuck a lot.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I'm not doing it quite as daintily as you. Maybe I'll do it.
I think you are.
Yeah, you are.
Really? Now, you're appearing in Legally Blonde at the moment.
We have 3 weeks left.
3 weeks left?
Yes, we close on July 14th, but we've been going for nearly a year, so we've had such a great run. We've absolutely loved it.
And there are dogs on stage as well as part of Legally Blonde.
Such beautiful dogs.
How well trained are they as actors?
They are exceptional. They're better than anyone in the cast. They get the final bow, which I kind of find a little bit offensive. I'm like, I have 18 costume changes and I don't stop moving the entire show, and they're in like 3 scenes, and then they get a bow after me. No, I'm really joking. They actually deserve it. They are heaps better than me.
And they never miss a beat, the dogs?
They don't miss a beat, but they can't ignore their dog instincts. Like one night, I arrived to go on to do the Harvard Yard scene where I walk on and I arrive at Harvard with Bruiser. And Peter, who's our brilliant dog trainer, she said, oh, there's something funny happening tonight, I'm not sure. And there's no time, so that's it. I just thought, okay, no worries. And grabbed, I think it was Sparrow, who's our middle-sized chihuahua. And without fail, I got out there and I sat down on the bench and I'm in the middle of the scene and I hear this, and the chihuahua was looking at this, like into this one area of the audience and was not happy. And it happened throughout the show because the dogs kind of alternate, they do different parts throughout the show. And all of the dogs were not happy with this one person. And I was like, well, they must be real evil.
And you didn't see the person?
Really
you couldn't work out who it was?
No, well, it's dark. You can't really see the audience.
I would have loved if you brought up the house lights and there's just a
right.
cat.
Who are you?
And you met the Queen at one point, is that right?
I totally did.
So totally met
You've
the
met the
Queen.
Queen too, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, we go way back.
Whatever. I did. That's my sister and I, Kate, and I, meeting the Queen. I sang the Australian anthem and the Royal Anthem, which was really nervous, singing "God Save the Queen" to the Queen. Oh. It was really nerve-wracking.
Does she pretend she's in danger?
I wish you did. I didn't, and we weren't even meant to meet them because we were sort of just, you know, people like Gina Reinhardt got badges that said, not badges that said we're going to meet the Queen, but their name tags had a little special thing that said that they were going to meet the Queen. And Kate and I, as you can see in the photo, we'd gone and found dresses that we thought were in the Queen's favourite colours, lemon and pale blue. And she was like a good 10, 20 metres away from us. And we just sort of walked down to where we could sort of see her off in the distance.
The mosh pit.
The mosh pit. The royal mosh pit. We were in the royal mosh pit. And Kate and I did these enormous curtsies. We've been practicing our curtsies all day with these huge curtsies. And the Queen made a beeline for us. And we were so excited. But meeting her husband was the funniest thing. He was like, Prince Philip, he goes, "Oh, so do you sing anthems for a living?" I'm like, okay. That statement alone tells me a lot about you. I was like, oh, well, I work a lot in musical theatre, so I sing quite a bit. And he said, "Oh, so what have you been doing?" I said, "I've been playing Glinda the Good Witch in the musical Wicked." And he, "Oh, yeah, so do you have to learn a new part now?" And I said, "Well, yes." And he goes, "Oh, bad luck," and just walked off. We were just like, wow. Yeah.
I think, here's my theory with Prince Philip, is his entire job in life is to walk 2 paces behind his wife and not talk until she moves on, because he has to talk to the person the Queen's just spoken to. So I think his job is to just bring you back down to earth.
Yes.
Because, you know, the same thing, when you meet the Queen and she walks on and you go, "This is the Queen, how do I go back to real life?" And then you go, "Hello!"
Every photo of her has her a few paces behind, in front, and him, and people just cacking themselves probably.
Last Monday was a very special day for you.
Last Monday was the greatest day of my entire life, and that is not a statement, I'd say lightly. It started by my boyfriend, Chris, saying to me, "Oh, we're going to have a holiday." And it was really casual. We were back in our apartment in Sydney, and he said, "I've organised for us to go and have lunch somewhere. We never tourists in our own city, and we live in Sydney and that sort of thing." So he said, "Oh, and I've got a voucher, 2 for 1, to go to the top of Centre Point Tower," which is now, I think, the Sydney Tower. And so we went up there, and he proposed to me, and it was so exciting. It was... That was amazing. And then the day just kept going. Chris had planned so many amazing surprises. We went and had this beautiful lunch, Cafe Sydney, overlooking the harbour and the Opera House, and we actually stayed in this room at the Sir Stamford that Prince Charles apparently stayed in. There's this big plaque. We got upgraded, and Mel Gibson and Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, when they were together, stayed there, and it was really cool. And then we went to amazing dinner, and then we went to the Opera House.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a great omen.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Prince Charles, Mel Gibson, Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise. Seeing a pattern.
Are you going to have to learn a new part now? Bad luck.
All right, so he proposed to you.
So he proposed to me. We went to have this amazing dinner and lunch, and then we went to the Opera House. And I am the most massive Kristen Chenoweth fan.
Right.
Kristen Chenoweth was the original Glinda the Good Witch in the Broadway Wicked worldwide. And so Chris had already a few weeks before surprised me with tickets and flights to go to this concert. That's why I thought I was in Sydney to go and see Kristen Chenoweth in concert.
And that you lived there.
And that I lived there.
Yeah.
That was a bonus. and so I got there, and we saw the first act, and in the second act...
Sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt. That just freaked me out and confused me. You got flights to fly from Sydney and then up and around and back to Sydney.
I'm living in Melbourne at the moment.
See, that's rude.
So we got to Act 2. We'd seen quite a lot of it. We'd had a couple of glasses of champagne throughout the day. Had I known this next moment was happening, I probably would have had 1 or 2 less. But we went. She said, "Oh, now this is the most important part." She talks like that.
So this is Kristen Chenoweth you're watching.
Kristen Chenoweth, who's tiny. She's 4'11", and she's so beautiful. And she said, "Now this part of the show, I normally find somebody in the audience who wants to sing the duet that Elphaba and Glinda sing in Wicked, For Good.
Yep.
And she called me up on stage and she'd learnt the Elphaba part. So I sang For Good with Kristen Chenoweth. It was just, I have no recollection of it, but luckily some fan videoed it and it's on YouTube, so that's great.
And from what I heard, stopped the show, standing ovation,
It was
people just in tears.
incredible moment of my life. So this day I just was like, wow.
And the person I feel for is your now fiancé. Because up until the moment you were called up on stage with Kristen Chenoweth, he would have been sitting there going, whenever she thinks of this day, it's all about me. I'm the guy she's going to... And then you're on stage with Kristen Chenoweth getting a standing ovation. He's going, she's not even going to remember I was here. We are massively excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Clearly you have found true love.
Yes.
But I want to test you tonight. I want to test to see if you can spot true love.
Okay.
Yes. Tonight we have a game that we are calling, in honour of the Princess Bride, the True Love Challenge. If you look over here, you'll see that we have 3 couples from the audience. Now, only one of them is a true couple. The other 2 we've managed to mix and match a little bit. Your job is asking questions. Can you spot which of those couples is truly in love?
Okay, couple 3. What are your names, sorry?
I'm Jack.
Jack.
I'm Naomi.
Naomi.
Should have asked what's the other.
I know.
Oh, Jack, what's her name?
Naomi.
Okay, Naomi, how long have you guys been together?
About 12 years.
Do you guys? I don't mean in a necessarily in a passionate way, but like when you're coming home or leaving the house, do you do like a little peck kiss to say goodbye and hello?
No, passionate, always.
It's always passionate.
Wow. Okay, so definitely not a couple.
Not for how many years was it? I've got a question for the woman in number 1. If you're ever watching Q&A, do you find yourself attracted to Barnaby Joyce?
Funny enough, yes.
You do.
Lucy and Frank, one more question each.
Oh, OK, so the middle team there. What was the context that you guys met? How did you meet?
Funnily enough, it was at a public library. It sounds strange, I know, and sounds really dorky, but I was studying and he accidentally tipped over half a bookshelf on top of me. And in his kindness of rescuing me, I kind of realised that we were chatting about the same kind of things, and that's where it began.
You were chatting about, help this person!
You haven't asked the others this story.
No, that's true. Can we quickly ask
There are the stories.
Okay.
Barnaby Joyce and why? How did you guys meet?
We met at an indoor cricket centre.
Were you both playing cricket?
Yes. He was managing the centre and I was playing.
Did you win?
You know, did you score? You know. How many runs? No, you don't want to talk about the runs. Right, that's love. That's very romantic. So what about number 3? You guys, how did you guys meet?
I was his ski instructor.
Benson is.
All right, Lucy, have you got enough? Do you think you've worked out who the real couple are, who's truly in love?
Do you have any feelings?
I'm thinking the middle couple because that's a really nice story.
Oh, look, I want them all to be in love, but I've just got a feeling about the cricket guys down the end.
I
You don't
know.
have to go the same couple. You can choose different couples.
I'm going number 1.
Lucy?
Yeah, okay. I'll go number 2.
So does that mean I get 3? But you're not winning. You're not a couple. I can tell.
All right, would the real in-love couple please step forward? This is John and Karen, or as they're known to their friends, Brunny and Kazza. They did indeed meet at indoor cricket. It's like an Australian fairy tale. Now, I don't know whether you know this, Brunny and Kazza, but you've got a friend here tonight called Julie Bateman.
Yeah.
Well, friend.
Yes, she told us, quote, you guys have a very healthy lifestyle in the bedroom and just about everywhere. Does that mean you're healthy? Like
Very healthy, yeah.
Just healthy people?
Yeah.
Or you shag all over the place?
There have been some competitions.
other? Or...
Each other. I did 12 last night. Oh, I only got out 10.
And could the other couples rearrange themselves into the true couple formation? There you go. Look, I think it's fair to say we have found true love tonight. Would you all please kiss your appropriate partners?
Hold on. Is this a kissing show?
Keep your shirt on. Let me read. Adam says, would you please thank all our couples
for taking part tonight. And while you're at it, please thank Lucy Durack. My musical guest tonight is an award-winning comedian who is the queen of slime, the queen of filth, the queen of putrescence, singing about the reality of love. Would you please welcome Geraldine Quinn?
I'm sorry I hurt you. I didn't mean to make you cry. Even when I got the best intentions, somehow I always find the wrong thing to say. But I'll change my ways. This time I mean it. You know this time I really will. I'll do what I can to be a better woman, but I can't do it alone. There's something I want you to know. It's all your fault, 'cause you never do exactly what I say. How do you expect us to make it work when you don't do everything my way? You should be more good to me, then I wouldn't have to break so much crockery. If you're confused, let me give you a clue. We wouldn't have a problem if you were anyone but you. Well, how can you be so selfish? You know I just don't understand how you can say I'm unkind when you don't have the decency to read my mind. So I tap your phone, and when you're not home, I rifle through your drawers. It's my way of showing I'm yours. It's all your fault, can't you see that, baby? It's not me at all. I wouldn't have to moan if you lost 3 stone and your family didn't drive me up the wall. Is it such a chore for you to close the door on everyone you care about who I find boring? Did I say anything to hurt you? You wouldn't be so touchy if you were anyone but you. It's in your nature, it's elementary. When I insist you end with all your female friends, why do you take it personally? I don't assume it's only you. It's also everything you say and think and do. You know my love will always be true, but it'd be more verifiable if it was with anyone but you. Can't you be? Can't you be? Is it so hard to be anyone but you?
If you want to find out more about Geraldine, go to GeraldineQuinn.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Geraldine Quinn. Now, we filmed tonight's one-on-one with English talk show host Jonathan Ross well before we decided to do a Princess Bride-themed episode. So we spent the last week trying to work out how we could tie him in with the theme of the night. Then we realised, just like Peter Cook's cameo as a priest with a speech impediment, Jonathan Ross can't pronounce the letter R either. Here's what happened when he and I sat down for a chat.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You gave him way too easy.
Yes,
man.
I did give it away, but you're, you know, You're you.
Well, you know what? This is my show, and you've made me look good to my people.
That's what I want to do. That's why I get booked on things.
So listen, most people know you in Australia, and I know you in Australia for being a TV host.
I don't think people do know me in Australia. I think there's probably about 12 people who watch my show in Australia.
Did you ever do an ad for Pizza Hut?
I did do an ad for Pizza Hut. I didn't know that show.
It ran in Australia.
They probably owe me some pizza for that then. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm probably known only for that. For some weird pizza glutton.
Well, no, the Jonathan Ross show is on ABC too.
I know it's on. I just didn't know if anyone was watching. They don't tell me if anyone's watching. Oh, well, that's nice if they are. Thank you. Thank you for watching if you are watching.
By the way, what have you got against Australia?
I've got nothing against Australia. I'd like to go. It's just, if you could move it a bit closer, I would go. It's too far away for me to go.
That's why we keep it that far away.
I bet, yeah, you wouldn't want me there. I'd love to go to Australia once. Everyone I know who's been, and these are people who I like and trust, they all say you'd love it.
Yeah.
Everyone says you'd love it. I'm a bit scared of it, though. I've seen stuff where people get lost in deserts and never get out again.
Well, don't go to the desert.
Well, it's kind of hard to avoid if you want to go from one side to the other. And if I'm flying over and I crash down in the desert, and then there's a sort of rock and there's men burning and they mystical things they tell you and you have to run alongside Hugh Jackman in a Jeep. I don't know whether I'm up for that kind of experience as an older person.
So here's a question. I talked to Michael Parkinson recently about interviewing, and he said that there are certain people that have flirted with him quite a lot. Have you had that? Have you had guests?
I thought you were going to accuse me of being one of them there. I mean, I have. I've spent time with Parky, and obviously he is an attractive older man.
Yeah.
But certainly, you know, I've met famous people who I think I could have jumped on their bones.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, afterwards you've thought, hang on.
Afterwards, during, before. Yeah, there have been times, yeah, of course I have. You must have had that, haven't you?
So when you're on camera, there's just that thought through your mind of, I reckon...
I try not to imagine people naked. Sometimes, though, you have to do that just to avoid falling asleep. But I have been invited back once or twice to people's hotel rooms.
Names?
No. I'll tell you afterwards. One of them was quite elderly, and I was worried I might damage her hip or something, you know? And I didn't want to be responsible for that. I didn't want to damage someone's hip. Because as you know, I'm a powerful man. I'm a very powerful and dominant lover. As you know.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. How do you think you lost that fucking foot? Horrible man I am. I do apologise for that.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about is something you told me that not many people know, that in your early days you were a mentor for disabled people who wanted to get into television. Well,
you know what, that makes it sound grander and makes me sound more kind of important and influential than it was. I was working for a company and I was very keen to do the job, and they were called Interface. I mean, and I enjoyed working with them, and it was a small group. There was a blind guy I was working with, a guy who was a paraplegic who'd had an accident, fallen from a tree. He was a tree surgeon. And I became very friendly with him, actually. I spent quite a lot of time with him. He died a few years ago, but we had some good nights out on the lash together.
Yeah.
One night was really fun as well. He came back, and because he was paraplegic, he had a kipper on his head. They called it a kipper. It's like a bag, a colostomy. It's not a colostomy bag. It's like attached via catheter, so it goes into the bladder. So, because he couldn't control his bladder and his bowel movement, so, you know, obviously, when it comes, it comes. And we drank a lot, so I had to keep wheeling him outside so he could empty this thing into the gutter because the bag was getting full. So we go outside and empty it, and then finally, I lived in a council flat right next to this this pub we're in. So finally, he was staying overnight. So we got back to the flat, and wouldn't you know, the lift was broken. The lift was broken. He's in a wheelchair, and there's a lot of stairs. So I said, "I'll tell you what, let's leave the chair down there." And I don't know, I was drunk. I said, "I'll carry you up." So get him. So he's kind of shit-faced, I'm shit-faced. We leave the chair park. I get him up my shoulder, and he was heavy. And I'm going up the stairs, and the first time I was like, yeah, I'm all right. And then as we got halfway up, the absurdity of what we were doing here, so we started giggling. And then we got a bit further up, and the bag popped. And so his piss went all over me. And that made us laugh even more. And as we were doing that, the woman who was my neighbour, we were quite next to her, she came out of her flat to see what the noise was. She was convinced I was gay anyway, because I was going through a Bowie phase. So I had a blonde hair. She came out, so what she sees is, she doesn't know he's in a wheelchair. She sees me carrying a drunk man back to my flat, both of us stinking of his piss, giggling. And she just, seriously, she looked down and she saw me, she just went, and shut the door, and that was it.
Doing your bit for the disabled people.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Jonathan Ross, pleasure talking to you.
Always lovely to see you, Adam.
Thank you. Since the invention of acting, there have been 5 actors that were rated the most passionate, the most pure. This one left them all behind. From Neighbours to Home and Away to the Dr. Blake Mysteries, he's one of Australia's favourite sons. He's here tonight in the role of Wesley, the Dread Pirate Roberts. Please welcome Craig NcLachlan.
my one true love, if I may. Oh, you six-fingered fee! G'day! Oh! Adam, let me just say, if I may, my love for this show, your show, is true love.
How aware are you of the movie The Princess Bride?
Excuse me, I'm the man in black. You're talking about the man called Mac, who right now is behind the stage here, wearing almost the identical clobber to me. Let me quickly get him for you. 6 fingers. How horrendous. Mac! NcLachlan! Apparently he wants you!
He does know his character's straight.
Hello, gorgeous.
Craig McLaughlin, everybody. G'day, Frank. Nice to see you. Hello, Lucy, my love. How are you?
I'm very good.
Lovely to see you. Sorry about the scratchy tash.
G'day. G'day, Adam. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Jeez, it's lovely to be here. G'day, folks.
And listen, before we start,
yes.
It's only fair to warn you, I will be trying to kill you later on.
Look, so many people have tried over my almost 30 years in the business.
But you just won't die.
I won't die. Listen, I'd be disappointed if you didn't have a crack.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we must. I see you've got your weapon.
Yes, and you've got yours?
Yes.
OK, well, let's do the interview first.
All right.
The thing is, you love a bit of dress-up as well, because you have played Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or the Rocky Horror Stage Show, I should say.
Yes, indeed.
And in fact, did so a couple of weeks ago in Adelaide, did you not, for the Adelaide Cabaret Festival?
Yeah, we did. We had your beautiful other half there singing like an angel.
The other half.
It was great. You know, Adelaide, no one does it quite like Adelaide. The Cabaret Festival was a huge success, but halfway through the night, Kate Sobrano, our good friend, was curating the festival, as it were, this year, and she said, come over and have a play with us. Do whatever you like. And I just fancied getting those fishnets back on. But I didn't say anything. I'd been hosting the gala event in a tuxedo and trying to be as professional as I possibly could. But I couldn't help it, could I? I ran backstage at an opportune moment and I took the trousers off and put the fishnets on and I put the high heels back on. Oh, Sean, tell you what charming underclothes you both have, but here, put these surgical gowns on. They make you feel less vulnerable. Yeah.
How do you do I?
And you know, years ago, I met Richard O'Brien for a charity event, a one-off performance of Rocky Horror Show. It would be maybe 1989 or 1990. It was around my fevered David Cassidy mullet hey Mona period, and he invited me to be a part of this midnight performance of Rocky Horror Show. I was playing Eddie the Rocker, Dr. Scott, Brad and Janet. And after the show, we got chatting and he said, Craig, darling, it's only a matter of time before you play Frank. And I thought, yeah, OK, whatever. Sure enough, it would have been 2 years later. And suddenly I found myself here in Melbourne doing just that. And he never leaves you. Frankenfurter, Richard would say, once Frank's in you, and I'm already regretting how We finished the run of a Rocky Horror, and 10 days later I was in London doing Grease for Mr. Stigwood, Robert Stigwood.
Yeah.
And rehearsals, it was constant. It was, Danny, I can't believe you're here. Oh, Sandy. And of course, that just didn't wash, did it? Anyway.
That is the production of Grease I would see if Frankenfurter was actually playing Danny's role.
Be great, wouldn't it? I got my overhead lifters.
And look, you know, as far as going the extra mile, you actually went the extra mile for the Dr. Blake audition as well, because you didn't think you were...
Well, the buggers didn't want me.
Right.
No, the truth of the matter is they were looking for a much older actor.
Right.
And I got my hands on the script really quite by accident. I was in Los Angeles working on another project, and I got my hands on the script. I couldn't get the damn thing out of my head. It was just one of those things. I could see what the producers were trying to do. George Adams, the chap who created the Blake Mysteries, had a very clear vision, and it was really, he was trying to create that classic BBC One murder mystery thing here in Australia. But Nothing for you, Big Mac. Righto. And I thought, no, bugger that. Sometimes you've just got to take the bull by the horns. So I had a couple of days off filming and I had a bit of a beard going on. And it did age me considerably. And the next day I went to a friend's place and asked him to just film an audition on his smartphone. So I picked 4 or 5 scenes out of the script. We shot it on the phone, emailed it off, and just hoped for the best.
And it's just amazing to think that from a smartphone audition, so you've been filming in an old asylum at Sunbury.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the crew went up prior to us turning over. And they'd all come back with these stories of, oh, it's a creepy place, it's kind of weird, and it does have a fairly extraordinary sort of brutal history. And I'd be always like, you know, you're all tired and emotional. There's nothing going up there. It's just a big old great building that's going to look flash, and don't worry about it. Day after day, someone on the crew had this bizarre story. You know, we saw a little boy running around wearing period clothes from like the 1800s or whatever, and I'm like, yes, and I saw Elvis over at catering not long ago, you know, making an instant coffee. Who thought?
He'd be a plunger.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't he, though?
Yeah.
Oh, well, and after about a week, I was planning to pull a prank on some of the more nervy members of the camera department. And everything was falling into place, and it was toward the end of the day. We were wrapping soon, and it was time for my evil plan to take effect. But before I could do that, I'd been drinking dodgy coffee all day and frankly needed to go and relieve myself. Mm-hmm. You see, I can be polite when I know. But basically I did. I needed to go siphon the python, and and off I went. Now, the bathroom that we were able to use was down a lengthy external corridor and all the rest of it. And I get into the bathroom and I'm giggling away at what I'm about to do and the prank I'm about to pull as well. So if you can imagine, folks, I'm giving it this. And off I go back to set. I get onto this long external corridor and I look down at the end of the corridor and there is... honest to God, I swear, I know I'm prone to a little exaggeration, but at the end of the corridor in the distance, I would say 45, 55 feet away, is the clear image of a full-grown man, an adult male, no head, at the end of the corridor. And I squealed. I didn't scream, I squealed like a spanked piglet. Like this. And it wasn't until I moved. Huh? It's copying me. It was my reflection in...
Listen, Craig, you've been a wonderful guest, but we've come to that point of the interview that we do need to fight. You seem a decent man. It would be a shame to kill you.
And what would the man in black say to that?
You seem a decent fellow. It's a shame to die.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Shall we? So, important, though, before you engage in any sword play, that you warm up. I didn't get you with the tip of my weapon, did I?
That's how good you are.
Or...
That's called flexibility, and this is one of the moves we often used behind the set of Lassiter's. Back in the day, if I had to do battle with Mike or Des or Daphne or something. You might, it might pay to do a little something yourself.
Yeah, after seeing that, I think I might just go in cold.
I had a man backstage in a theatre in Edinburgh say that to me once. Very good.
En garde.
Prepare to die. Seems you're better than this than I was expecting.
Ah, seems you are worse than I thought.
How By God! It seems you have the strength of 10 talk show hosts.
Come again at me.
Come again. That theatre in Edinburgh. You fiend!
You bitch!
Here comes the kebab!
Missed! Come on, NcLachlan, give it another shot.
My sword's stuck! All right, you fiend!
I'm waiting. Take that! Take that!
Yes! Oh, come on, I'm just warming up!
Oh, nice turn!
Yes!
Oh, don't break the table! Don't break the table! It's from another show!
Come on! Foot to the solar plexus! Oh, please, watch the face!
Right, watch your step.
Look at that, getting a little air.
Oh!
Yes.
I'm glad one of those legs is fake.
Oh, look at that!
Missed, you fiend! I'm going to run up into the audience where I'm safe, but they're in danger.
You have the speed of an Olympian. However, I'm going to make you a human pincushion. Look at us!
This is...
My God!
Oh, this is worse than a neighbours and home and away afternoon marathon.
I can certainly agree to that.
Come on! We've only a few minutes left to spare at the end of the show.
Really?
Give it your best shot.
All right.
This isn't over yet, NcLachlan. Someone have a seat, dear boy. Shall we call it a draw?
I think that would be the gentlemanly thing to do. I clearly didn't warm up as well as I thought I should.
I can't let you get away with that without challenging it at least.
Come on, we'll all have a crack.
I will if I do.
Craig McLachlan, it's a pleasure to have you back on our TV screens. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig McLachlan. And in fact, would you please thank all our guests for tonight, Lucy Durack, Frank Woodley, Geraldine Quinn, and Jonathan Ross. And of course, the woman who can't compete with you physically but is no match for your brain, Hannah Gadsby. And I'd like to give a personal shout out to all the makeup artists, wardrobe people, producers and stunt doubles who made tonight's episode possible. Thank you for your hard work, everybody. Next week we'll be joined by comedian Michelle Laurie, broadcaster Les Murray and singer Kate Sobrano. Plus there's musical comedy from Axis of Awesome and a one-on-one interview with the one and only Paul Hogan. We'd like to leave you tonight, however, with the closing song from the movie The Princess Bride. It's called Storybook Love, and it will be performed by Lucy Durack. Thanks for watching Adam Hills tonight. See you next week.
Come, my love, I'll tell you a tale of a boy and girl and their love story, and how he loved her oh so much, and all the charm did possess. Now this did happen once upon a time, when things were not so complex, and how he worshipped the ground she walked, and when he looked in her eyes, he became obsessed. My love is like a storybook story, but it's as real as the feelings I feel. My love is like a storybook story, but it's as real as the feelings I feel. It's as real as the feelings I feel. He said, don't you know I love you oh so much, and lay my heart at the foot of your dress. She said, don't you know that storybook loves always have a happy ending? Then he swooped her up just like in the books, and on his stallion they rode away. My love is like a storybook story, but it's as real as the feelings I feel. My love is like a storybook story, but it's as real as the feelings I feel. It's as real as the feelings I feel.
The end. What do you reckon? Shall we do the show?
It's just finished.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you could come around again next week and read me the script. Who's on the show?
Michelle Laurie, Axis of Awesome, a one-on-one interview with Paul Hogan. Oh, we could do a Crocodile Dundee themed episode, yeah! Harley could be the Croc, I'll be Hogs, and you can be Linda Kozlowski.
Adam.
What?
Shut up.
As you wish.